Hello guys, welcome to Good Macro Projects. When I click next job, it gives me the next one. In this video, we're going to develop this using React hooks and Redux. If you want to type along with me, kindly install the following. 1. npm install Redux. 2. npm install React Redux. 3. npm install Redux DevTools extension. 4. npm install Axios. With all said and done, let's begin. Thank you very much. Let's begin by creating 3 folders in our SRC folder. Call the first one assets, and create another one, call it components, then the last one Redux. Good. Now let's do the first one, assets. Now let's create a folder inside the assets and call it images. Good. Now let's create another folder in the assets and call it spinners. Good. Now let's do the first one, images. Now in this application we have no images, so let me leave it blank. Then the next one, spinners. Here I have my spinner here. Let me put it there. I'll put it there nicely. Good. So our spinner is ready. So now what do? We go to components. Let me close this. Assets is ready. Let me go to components, create a folder and call it joke. Now inside the joke folder, let's create a file and call it joke.app.js. Good. With our boilerplate. Good. Instead of ordinary div, why don't we make it react.fragment? React.fragment. Good. Now inside that we can say h1 tag. H1 tag. I can say hello. Let's link that to the app.js to view on the screen. So you say joke app again. Let's import it. Good. It has been imported for us. Now let's check our screen. Good. We got hello on the screen, means we're ready to go. Now to begin, let's look at the structure of the application. Now I want us to have a card. Okay, then inside the card let's have the header as usual, the card header. Okay, inside the card, then the next is the body, the card body. We're going to have what do you call it, another card. Then we have a button beneath it. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, so that is that for the structure of the application. With the page setup, we're going to center everything using grade. So let's check how to do that. So let's close the JS, back to our joke.app. Let's take the h1 tag off, then create a div and create a card. So we say class name equals card. Okay, now what do we do next? Card, we need a card header and body. So we say another div and we call class name, we call it card header. So let's copy that and do some editing. So next we're gonna do a card body. Again. Now let's take them one after the other. The card header. The card header, what do we need? We need an h6 tag, and inside that we can say programming jokes app. Good. So that is that. Let's check it out. Good. It's represented. Now what we need to center it using the CSS. So we go to our CSS, then we call our body. the body, say display grid, place items center, then give it a height of 100 VH, then we give it a background color. Let's give it hash D1 D1 D1. Let's give it a font style italic, and the font family Georgia. Good. So what do we do next? Let's check it out. Good. Our card is ready. It's being centered for us. So next to do is to go to the app again. Then what we need to do is to take the card header and give it a background color. And after that we come to the H6. Let's do that. So let's give it show card header. Good. We say give it a background. Good. Let's give it a linear gradient. We say to bottom. Let's give it hash 44C767. Then another one, we give it hash 5CBF28. Good. Nice one. Good. Let's check that out. Good. So that is that with the card header. Now let's go to the H6. So we say card header H6. So let's check that out. Card header H6. Okay, over here we give it color. We say white smoke. Then let's give it a font size. Let's give it 30 pixels. Let's check that out. Good. So that is that, guys. Next to do is let's look at what to do next. Good. So if we're done with the card header, so let's go to the card body. Now the card body, what do? We need a joke container. So we say div. We give the class name equals joke container. Now let's give the joke container some width and height. So we say joke container mean width good, 500 pixels. Then mean height 200 pixels. Good. So that is that. Let's check that out. Good. So next is to, let's see, we need our article container. So we say let's create a div, then give it a class name equals article container. We need article container and another one called what? Button container. So here it's gonna be BTM container. So that is that. We need two containers. Now let's do the first one, article container. Now with the article container, what do we need? We need an article. So it's article inside. Let's write anything. Good. So that is that. Let's check it out. Good. Now let's create let's try and center the container. So we say the article container, let's give it some width and height. So I'll copy and I say article container, let's give it some width. We say max width, we can say 500 pixels. Then min height 100 pixels. Let's give some margin, let's give 20 pixels. And let's give it color, let's give it RGB, let's give it 66166.158. Good. Let's check that out. Good. Now we need to center it. Let's give it some font size. So we say font size 25 pixels. Let's check that out. Good. Now let's try and let's give it a box shadow. Good. So let's check that out again. Good. Now let's try to center it. So what we need to do is to create a centered, we say centered CSS. Okay. Then inside that we say display flex, justify content center, then align item center. That is that. Now we add a center to the container. So over here we can say centered. Let's see. You can see it's centered for us. So that is that. Good. So that is that. Next is the button. Okay. Let's check it out. Now with the button, what do? We need button inside, and we say BUTT button, and inside that let's give it a class name equals BTNs. Then we can give it a name next joke. Good. Now let's create a what? Let's create the CSS for the button. Good. So we say what button, we say display flex, then justify content flex end. Good job. Let's check that out. Good. Let's give it some margin. So we say margin 20 pixels. So that is that. The next is to style the BTN. So we say, let me just go down. Let's say BTN, what's the name? BTNs. Okay. Let's go to that again. Get ready. Now let's start the button. Okay, let's give it a color. The same color. Let's copy that. Good. The background color. And what again? Let's give it, we say color white smoke. Let's give it font size 20 pixels. Then let's give it some padding. Let's give it 7 pixels and 20 pixels. Now what next again? Border and outline. See, border radius 15 pixels. And what again? outline, say none, border, none. Let's check that out. Good. So that is that, guys. What to do next is to get ready for Redux to fetch the API. So to begin with, let's close this. Close this, we don't need it. Let's go to Redux. Now inside Redux, let's create a file and call it store.js. Inside the Redux folder, let's create another file and call it root reducer.js. Okay, inside the same Redux folder, let's create another folder and call it joke Redux. Good. So inside the joke Redux, let's create 3 files. Call the first one joke.actiontypes.js. The next one, we call it joke.actions.js. The last one, joke.reducer. Okay, last file will say joke.reducer.js. Good. So that is that. Let's take the first one, joke.actiontypes. Now with the joke.actiontypes, what do we do? Let's give it let's call our actions. We say export const load data what request. Good. Equals load data request. Copy that. Good. You can just copy everything 3 times, then do some editing. Good. So the next one is going to be the same. This one is going to load data success. Same thing. Success. And last one is going to be failure. So let's do that. Failure. Okay, that is that. So we're done with the joke.action type. Let's go to the next one, joke.actions. Now joke.action, to begin with, we need to import the action type. So we say import what? Load data request. Let's copy it and do some editing. Good. So let's rearrange it. So the next one is load data success, and last one, load data failure. So that is that. Next is to import actions. So we say import actions from where? Actions. So that is it. So now we can say export const load data equals to a function that will return async that gives us a function where we can now have our try catch catch. Good. Now let's do the first one, try. So try, we need to dispatch. Then inside that we say dispatch what? Dispatch a type. Good. Type load data request. Good. When we dispatch a type load data, we need to get our data URL. So we say let data URL be equal to what is our API. Now we go check our API. Now I found this API. I want to check it out. You can see the API. I copy it. Now this is just the API. It has this category, programming, type, joke, and ID, safe, and language. So that is that with the API. Very simple one. So let's go try it out. I copy, put it there. So our API is ready. So we say let response be equal to await what? Archives dot get what? Get the data URL. So that is that. So next we can dispatch what? Dispatch a type called load data success. Come on, and a payload what? Response dot data. So that is that. Then now, should we have an error? What do? Then dispatch what? Dispatch a type called load data failure. Come on, give it a payload error. So that is that with the joke.actions. Great. So now what we need to do is go to joke.reducer. We need to import the action types again. Okay, I did it in the actions, so let's go check it and copy it. Okay, so now we can paste it in the joke.reducer. Great. So that is that. Now let's create a feature key in the store. We say export const joke key equals, we call it joke store. So that's the key in the store. So next we can now say let initial state equal to, good, give the data empty array. Then they say loading, let's give it what? False. Then what again? And the error message, let's give it empty. Good. So what we do next? Now we can now say export const joke reducer equals to function. Good. Well, we're gonna say state equals to initial state, comma action. Good. You can further structure this. Then we say let the type, comma payload is in the actions. Okay. Good. So for a switch statement, good, given a type, we can say when a case of load data request is being called, what do? And what? Return what? Give us the state back. Come on. Then make loading true. TRE get true. So that is that. How about a case when we have load data? A case we have load data success. What do? Load data success. Let's edit it. Success. Give us a feedback. Make loading false. Sorry. No. Everything else. Loading false. Come on. Then give the data to the payload. That is that for load data success. How about a case we have load data failure? We have load data failure. What do? Give us a feedback. There's nothing like loading. So we have error message. If it's the payload. So that is that. Let's create our default message. So we say default, we should return state. So that is that, guys. We're done with the joke.reducer. Next is to go to the root reducer and import the joke reducer. So we say import what? Joke reducer from there, that is there. And also import what? Combine reducers from Redux. So finally we can move down and say let root reducer equal to combine reducers into bracket. Let's call the key. So we say joke key. So given the value joke reducer. Now let's import joke key. Joke key has been imported for us. So that is that. We can now export our root reducer. Now export the root reducer to the store. So we go to the store and import the root reducer. So we say import root reducer from that is that. It's imported. So next thing to do is to import create store and what? Apply middleware from Redux. That's that. Next, we also need to import compose with dev tools from Redux DevTools extension. Good. Lastly, we can say import tank from where? From Redux tank. So that is that. Now finally we can select all middleware equal to create an array for them, and we say you can put tank here. You can put blank here. Good. So in future we can add more middle words with just a comma. So next we can now say that let store be equal to create store into bracket root reducer comma compose with DevTools into bracket what apply middleware into bracket give us all the middlewares. All middleware skill. That is that. Let's check it out. Good. Next we can finally export our store. So we say export what store. Now export the store to where? Export the store to the app.js. Go to app.js. Then we say import store from where? From Redux, then store. Next, we also need to import provider. So provider from React Redux. That is that. Now let's wrap the provider around the component. We say provider. Yeah, inside the provider we can have our store equals store. So I take the other side down. Got it. Good. Rearrange it nicely. So that is that. Done with our Redux setup. Let's check it out if there's any complaint. Let me see. Great, no complaint. Now we can check our store. Good, everything is being represented. You can see the chart view. You can see a raw view. So next thing to do is to what? Link the store to the component, the joke app, so that we can dispatch our API. So let's check how to do that. So let's go back to close this. We don't need them. Let's close everything, then go back to our component. Yeah, Redux done. Now component, we say joke app. Now with the joke app, let's import what? Use effect. We say use effect. Then next we also need to import what? Use dispatch comma and use selector again from React Redux. So that is that. Now let's initialize the use dispatch. So we say initialize use dispatch. We say let dispatch be equal to what? Use dispatch. That is this. So our dispatch is ready. Now it's ready. Let's go to use effect and try it out. So we say use effect into bracket and gives us a function. So good. Now inside that we need our array. Good. No, array. Yeah. So that is that. Inside that we can now call our dispatch. So we say dispatch what? Load data. Good. Now load data, where is the load data? The load data can be found in Redux. Go to joke.actions, see the load data. Yeah, this is where the API is. So we dispatch that. So let's go and import load data. So over here, good. So over here we can say import load data. Good. Product. So now what do we do? Now let's check it out if we're going to have our data in the store. So let's see. Good. So when I run, let's check the store. Great. We got data. We got data. You can see we got data in the store. So now what we need to do is to view the data on the component. So let's see how to do that. We need to call use selector. Okay. So over here we say view data from store. Yeah. So what we need to do is to let's view joke be equal to use selector. Okay, where it gives us another function. Good. So we say state should what? Should return what? State with the key. So we say joke key. Okay, that is that. Where is the joke key? Oh, the joke key is in me. Go to Redux, go to joke.reducer. You can see the joke key over here. So we need to import the joke key. So let's go back. We say import. Good. Import joke key. Then. What next? Our joke key is ready. So our view joke is also ready. Let's check the view joke out. Let's copy. You can check it out using a pre tag called JSON. Say pre tag. Then we say that we say call JSON. We say JSON.stringify into bracket view joke. Now let's check it out. Good. We got data. You can see the data. It's good. Now what we need to do is to bring this data over here. Okay. Over here. So we look at it. We have the data. We have the joke. And we have the what? ID. Yeah. Let's check that out. So to do that, we can take our pre tag off. We go to the article. Then we say what? We say view joke dot data dot joke. Let's check it out. As you can see, we have our joke in the article. So that is that, guys. Our joke is working. Now instead of running, let's try to use the button to load the next joke. So to do that, we go to our button again and give it an on-click event. So we say on-click equals, we say what? Handle btn. Copy that and create a function for it. Go up. We can say handle btn. So we say over here we say let handle btn equals to the function, and beside that we can say dispatch copy. Good. Dispatch. Load data. So let's check it out. So when I click, you can see. Click the button. You can see we got a new joke. Now what we need to do is next to add our spinner. Okay. Now what do we do to get our spinner? Okay, let's go back to components. Create a folder and call it spinner. Now inside the spinner folder, let's create a spinner app. Let's create a file and call it spinner app.js. Good. Now with our boilerplate RAFCE, so ordinarily why don't you make it React fragment? So inside that we can say, let's take this off. So inside that we need to create a div and give it a class name and call it what? Spinner container. Spinner container. Inside that we can have our img tag. So C equals, let's call it spinner image alt name. So we can leave it blank. So let's go spinner. Let's import the spinner. We say import spinner image. Okay. Spinner image from where? From yes, assets, then spinners. Okay. And name of the spinner is, let's check it out. Loading dog give loading dog .grf. So that is that. Now to see the spinner, we need to go back to the app.joke.app. Then we create a condition where we can see the spinner. Now let's create a condition for loading. When it's loading, we need to take the cat off. Okay, it's the cat, so I take everything off so that I can create a condition before the spinner loads. Okay. Good, I got it. So I can say that, let's give it a condition right there on JSS. So we say view joke.loading. If view joke loading equals true, true, which is true. View joke.loading equals true. What do? Just load, give us a spinner. Yeah, if it's true, give us a spinner. So the spinner app. Good. Otherwise what? Give us a React.fragment. So a React.fragment. Good. Let's close that tag. A React. This way. React.fragment. So inside that we can paste our card. Yeah, good. So let's check that out. So when I say, you can see our spinner still big. We need to resize it. So I can give it a class name. Where is the spinner? Spinner. Yeah, I give it a class name. I say centered. Now let's go to CSS and reduce this. We say, let's add it to the container. Let's say container. Joke container. Yeah. Joke container. Let's say, comma, spinner. Yeah. Spinner container. Yeah, what's that? Good. Let's check that out again. Wow, it didn't take a container. What we need to do is to let's create a new, how do you call it, a new width and height for it. So we say dot the spinner. Oh, so spinner container. Let's give it a width, 500 pixels, and a height. Let's give it 300 pixels. As that, let's check the image too. Let's say spinner img. Good. Let's take that one too. Let's give it the width. Let's give it 10 pixels, and height. Let's give it 10 pixels. Yeah, so like small. Let's check that out. Oh, too small, man. Okay, let's give it. Okay, better still, we can make it 100. Let's check that out. Yeah, okay. So that is that, guys. Thank you so much for sticking through. Catching the next one. Till we meet again, we say peace.